Hey, everybody. This is Jordan with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. Welcome. I'm joined today by my amazing co-host, Renika Wood and CJ Cabrera. How you guys doing today?
Great.
Doing
Awesome,
good.
awesome. And we're honored and grateful to have an amazing guest. Tasha is here with us today to tell us about her IBD journey. How you doing?
I am doing good. How is everyone today, this evening?
Good.
Good, good.
We are doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm very, very grateful over here. And we'll just get right into it. I'm curious, what is Tasha's, journey with Crohn's been looking like, or IBD, not to assume.
No, I do. I have Crohn's disease. I was diagnosed in 2004. I had just turned 17. I had got sick a few months before my 17th birthday. I was misdiagnosed a couple times. Yeah, they told my parents I was anorexic. Yeah, yeah. So that was fun. I was actually formally diagnosed about 3 days after my 17th birthday, which was something that I wasn't expecting. I had never heard of Crohn's. Nobody in my family had Crohn's at the time, something we had never heard of. But just the shock of them telling you you have an incurable disease was like a gut punch for me, especially at that age. I spent most of my time at that time just avoiding it. Like, I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want anybody around me talking about it. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want to like accept it. Like, it was like, if I don't talk about it, then it doesn't really exist. And we went on for quite some time like that. And then I had a few flares after that, but it was like maybe I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 years of me just like having a flare, going to the hospital, getting better, going on about my life. Like, it hadn't really affected me to a point where I was like
Incapacitated.
really had to like stop the brakes, and really I was able to always bounce back and go back to work or school or whatever it was that I was doing at the time. It wasn't until 2017 when I got like the sickest that I had been since my diagnosis. I was pregnant with my second child, my son, and I just wasn't getting better. I was on Humira, and at 4 months pregnant with him, I had to get my ileostomy, which was supposed to be temporary at the time, just to make it through the pregnancy. And it was hard. Like, we had to do the ileostomy just so I wouldn't die or he wouldn't die, just so both of us would make it to the end, basically. I still ended up being hospitalized like once a month because it was just a hard time. My oldest daughter, when I was pregnant with her, my pregnancy sent me into remission. So it was just great. So I wasn't expecting for this to happen with him. I ended up delivering him in February, and they asked me if I wanted to get the ileostomy reversed after that. And I kind of felt better, like better than I had been feeling, but I hadn't got to the point where I was like better. Just better than the death that I had been feeling before. Fast forward to about 6 months after I had him, I ended up having my colon totally removed. And like the rectum and everything got removed. And that was probably the best Crohn's decision that I've ever made. That was the best thing I could have ever done. I wish I would have done it sooner. Like, I had a couple of complications from the surgery, but even that, I have such a better quality of life now. I'm such an advocate. Like, if it's ever brought to anyone and you're trying to decide whether you should do it, do it, you'll feel a whole lot better. Like the best thing that ever did happen to me.
Ooh, wow.
All right.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jordan. You have something to say.
Yeah,
I got something to say.
no, Renika, you can go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jordan. We so excited.
Well, I was gonna ask you, to kind of maybe expand on that, because that's just really compelling. For folks that are listening that may not have, IBD or Crohn's or something, hearing someone, detail, how they, that voluntarily, doing that, or you get an opportunity to do that, and the quality of life, so just maybe expanding, like how you came to that decision, or were you given the decision, or is it was it something that just kind of like you're in a really bad place and it had to happen, or what happened?
When it came time to have the total colectomy, I was in a place where I didn't have a choice. Like I had a slight choice, like I could wait, but I probably wouldn't survive another 3 to 5 years. Versus if I had the colectomy, then I would have another 50 to 60 years.
Right.
So in my head, it was like the choice was really made for me. Yeah, like the scales were.
Yeah, it's like this big.
The good outweighed the bad for me. Right. Like I have 2 kids, so I have to think about things like being here for them. So that decision was made for me. And then after talking to my family and everybody just kind of being like, yeah, this is probably the best thing for you. My mom always says like, hey, I knew this was going to happen eventually. It just had to come when you were ready. And I was like, okay, everybody's on one accord and everybody, let's do it. Like, this is probably the best time. And I don't regret it at all. Like it was scary though. Like
I bet
trying to make that decision. I was afraid of the surgery. Once they got to telling me like, you'll be under for 6 to 8 hours. And I'm like, yeah, people die from just regular surgery. So I was afraid of that. But I think I was more afraid of the Crohn's killing me before that. Because that's how I felt at that time. Like it was really bad. I could barely hold my baby or walk from my couch to my kitchen to cook dinner without being doubled over in pain or crying at night because I was in so much pain. Like my life had totally stopped. Like I had to stop working, stop driving, stop everything. Everything just had to stop for me. So I was becoming really depressed and I didn't recognize myself anymore. And my daughter was like 5 at the time. I'm like, this isn't the life that she's used to. So the decision was really made for me.
I can empathize with not with that kind of surgery, but a lot of those emotions and stuff. And so thank you for sharing that. And but I must stop being a babbling over here.
Tasha, just hearing your story, I've heard a lot of women say that when they are pregnant, their bodies do go through remission with irritable bowel disease. I don't know the science behind it. I've been reading about it. I met a doctor who actually has Crohn's and found out she had ulcerative colitis. I found out why she was pregnant and she had ulcerative colitis. So, but a lot of people do go remission, and I'm so happy that you were able to get through those challenges. Being a mother, being an advocate, a survivor that's still surviving this chronic illness. Like, what keeps you going and keeps you motivated in the process through all you've been through?
My kids, they're my why. Like, it's easier to make it through the day, and then you just have to realize that it's not always going to be bad.
Right.
You have your moment, and then you move on. To maybe you just move on to your next, oh my God, woe is me moment, but you move on. You can't stay there. And then I didn't plan on becoming like an advocate or anything. I kind of just fell into it, kind of. When I had got really sick, I was looking for people like online and on Instagram, just so I'd have someone to relate to, or to be like, oh, well, this happened to them. And I couldn't find anybody. So I had to become the person that I needed back then. So that's kind of what motivates me. And now I've found so many women that are like, yeah, I went through this, or this happened to me too, or this different thing happened to me. So now I know to look out for this. Like, hey, such and such told me that this happens to them. So I know to bring it to my doctor. Like, I know what this is already, and we're about to work through this. Like, and then it was like meeting people like you online. Like, I was just like, hey, girl, tell me about yourself.
We mentioned this before the podcast a lot, though. Like, us being females and Jordan, she did being males, like the dynamics of the virus, because my computer's on my virus up here, but of the disease, it's so different for female and male. We have different challenges, I want to say. Our body, our anatomy is different than male. So we have different challenges that we don't talk about a lot openly due to a lot of fear and judgment and a lot of insecurities also about that. But, just the overall awareness, and now we're more able to connect with people because the internet is big. And you can find people, but back then you could find maybe like one person here, but no one was even sharing. And now we're able to share, connect, and bring awareness. And I'm just happy for the community that we're a part of, because we all advocate like differently, but having the same accord on what we're trying to do collectively. That's how I
agree. Like, people kind of just want to share the surface stuff. Oh, you have Crohn's. I mean, you go to the bathroom a lot. And then it's like, but there's so many other things that are affected when you have Crohn's. Like eye issues, mouth issues, like there's so many other things. And then the emotional aspect that comes along with that. And then I know for me, when I had to get my bag, the vanity part of me took over. Like, what is this? This isn't cute. Like, how am I gonna be cute with the bag? Like, this ain't gonna be cute. Or is it gonna stink? Are people gonna see it? And like, I had all these thoughts going, like, am I still gonna be lovable? Or just things that you make up in your own mind. And the people around me were like, yeah, you'll still be you. You'll just be you with the bag. And I wish somebody would say something to you about it. Like, you're not gonna be made to feel uncomfortable. And I think that's where we need to like bridge the gap. More people need to talk about it, because a lot of people have not just one bag, but some people have multiple ones.
It's true.
So it's like those type of things I think we need to bring more awareness to, and those stigmas need to be tossed in the trash.
Go away with the quickness type thing.
Yeah.
You got a question, CJ?
We got some questions in the chat, actually. Somebody was asking if they could ask a question about a J pouch. His name was Andrex. You can go ahead and ask your question, Andrex. Also, Miss Sassy Girl says, hey, Renika has some of the same concerns. That's what she said.
Thank you, Miss Sassy Girl. That's my sister.
And then, hey, Brittany, Carla Stewart, and Genesis Stubbs. How you guys doing today?
Hello, guys. Thank you guys so much.
When you were talking about being pregnant and then having to get ileostomy, what was your thought process through all of that? How was your mental health?
I was afraid.
Because like, no lie, when I heard that, like my heartstrings pulled. I was like, oh my God.
It was another one of those times where it was like the decision was kind of made for me. I was really sick, and my doctors felt like, hey, like, you probably should do this just to give your body a chance to rest. And it's already going to go through a lot with you being pregnant. So let's put your colon on ice, kind of like, we'll revisit this. Let's just get you to the end of the pregnancy. And I remember my OB telling me, like, look, I can't guarantee you anything, but I can get you to 34 weeks. Anything after that is going to be risky for you, but I can get you there. Okay. And all I have to do is get this bag and my baby makes it out okay. Great. Let's do it. And it was just, I kind of had to take that approach for me to actually make the decision. But then once I had it, I kind of withdrew from people because I didn't want people to be able to see it. Because of course, now my belly is bigger. So now I'm more self-conscious. Like, oh my God, can people see it? Can people, like, I don't want anybody to know. Don't ask me about it. Like, I didn't even tell a lot of people about that first initial surgery. Like, mind your business. Nobody needs to know. But at the end, I think it saved both of our lives. Like, they got me to where I needed to be, to where I was able to have a successful C-section. And he's great. He caused a lot of problems, but he was great. He's great now.
Oh my God.
It's a
My
great,
heart is.
it's a very happy ending to that story.
Yeah, it was a happy ending to a roller coaster ride.
Right. So like, and so what are, so what are some of the things that outside of Crohn's advocacy, are there any other things in your life that that you're working on, or that that you would like to, or even within the Crohn's advocacy, kind of both, like the stuff that you're working on in general, like, and maybe some kind of cool things that you would like to see happen with your advocacy.
I started a blog where I thought that I was going to blog about just like being a mom and those type of things. But somehow I ended up blogging about my Crohn's, because I found that a lot of people they have more questions, and other people, it made them feel not so alone. So just me talking about my experiences with just everyday life, being a mom with IBD is not easy. Some days I don't even want to get up, or some days I can't get up, but I have a 2-year-old. So it's like, you have to push through. And a lot of people, those stories resonate with people. And I was really shocked. Like, people care. Like, other people go through this. It's not just me. And then, like I said, I had to stop working. So I'm a stay-at-home mom during the quarantine. So when the quarantine started, I kind of felt like everybody was in a panic. And I was like, welcome. Have a seat.
Like, come on,
I've been here a while. I've been waiting. Like, find your snacks, find your seat on the couch.
Right.
Like, I've already been living this life, and everybody else just kind of caught up to it. Yep. So it was like that was interesting to see how that played out. What else? I just became a ambassador with Coachy.
Cool.
I saw that you guys had Nicole on a few weeks ago.
Definitely Crohn's veteran. So
definitely.
Yes, like that was something coming from a person who never wanted to talk to people had like me having Crohn's, or other people knowing that I had Crohn's. This is like, I'm making big steps. I'm making big steps.
Yeah, I mean,
for me personally, just to come out of my own shell.
Right. I mean, it's not easy. Even just telling your story, even if you've done it before, it's still not easy doing this stuff. And so, we appreciate, and and the Melody and Nikki over at Coachy. I mean, they're amazing people doing amazing things too. So like, I was. So Melody's story is, it's amazing, and Nikki's story, like, we interviewed, we hope to interview Melody soon, and we've already interviewed Nikki and stuff. And so, there's, amazing people, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with Crohn's Veteran, is just trying to get as many perspectives, as many stories from as many people, from as many places as we can. And, just because, everybody's, IBD story has values, but, and so, yours, we're greatly appreciative for. And so, And so I would say, you know, working. I'm gonna see if anybody else is in. Oh, someone wrote my Tasha baby.
I want to ask something, please.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, you're getting some. I think I lost my connection. I froze. It's okay. Hold on, we'll let it come back. So, I know I'm frozen again.
Question. He said, "Have you dealt with anal fistulas?"
Well, no, she had that.
Do you know what an anal fistula is? You mind sharing it with the audience with an anal fistula? The ones listening, like, what is an anal fistula or anal fissure? Are they different?
Yes. Yes, I do. To answer the question, yes, I have had anal fistulas, which is basically a hole from your insides to the outside, which normally will drain bile or pus or blood, anything. So yeah, I have had, like, that was part of the reason, because my Crohn's was centrally located in my colon and down to my rectum. So yeah, it wasn't fun.
Nope, it's not fun at all.
It's not
fun at all. Like,
if you're in the Crohn's and you never had a fistula before, I give you kudos, because I think everyone have had a fistula or a fissure or some type. I'm telling you, when I first had, this is a personal story, a fissure, F-I-S-S-U-R-E, like a knife type of slit that goes through your colon, your anal canal. I remember I'm at home, I was like, what is going on? It felt like somebody had the smallest razor blade and just cutting me down my coat. I didn't know what it was. I thought I was about to die. I had to sleep in a tub of water because I thought it was so painful. Didn't know what it was. I had to get this compound, cost like $80. They mix together and use that. It's kind of like the medication they use for persons have a heart attack. I got the name of it. What's it called? Help me out, you guys. It opens like your it opens your valves.
I don't know.
For
people have heart attacks, like they put like one pill under your tongue.
Oh, like a baby aspirin?
Huh?
Well, no, that wouldn't be that. What are you talking about? No, I have no idea.
It's an ointment that you put in your in that spot, and it releases the blood vessels in that canal, and it shrinks it down to where it closes up the fissure. When I get the name, I'm definitely gonna put it on our page. Yeah, that's what I used. I had to use for my fissure. It was bad. It was very bad. It was bad. So, and us being on this call, like a lot of African Americans in this IBD community, we're finding each other a lot now. Because before it was kind of like we couldn't find each other like this. No. So we're finding each other. That's awesome. Now.
Especially back when I was diagnosed, like I couldn't find anybody, let alone a Black person.
Right. Yep. I mean, I live in Nebraska and stuff, and so it's hard out here type thing. So,
right.
And just
nitroglycerin. That's what it is. Nitroglycerin.
Oh. What's his name? What's good, Mason? Crohn's Veteran Squad.
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Tisha Rice says, my Tasha baby, such a survivor. Genesis says, we're definitely here for the growth, Tasha. Andrex says, I sympathize. Thank you for answering my questions. Quintina, I'm sorry if I didn't say that right. You make it look so good, Tasha. And then she also said nitroglycerin. Taj is in here. Shout out to Taj. She also said nitroglycerin.
Shout out to Taj too. And someone said hashtag pretty in paint. So yes. A lot of love over here. It's dope.
A lot of love.
Tasha.
So
I love them too.
Right. So we greatly appreciate everybody watching. Listening to our show. It's awesome. How can people find you, Tasha?
You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the Crony Mommy. And you can visit my blog at thecronymommy.com.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
All right.
CJ, you want to take us out, man? Tell people how they can find us.
All right, y'all. You can find us on Instagram at official.crohnsveteran. You could follow Renika at Crohn's_and_sexy with 2 X's. You can follow Jordan at Crohn's Veteran. You can follow myself at Papuro, and you could check our website out at www.crohnsveteran.com. We also have our merch there on there. You can check out our merch. Renika's wearing our hoodie right now. You can see that. Also, you could check out our podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and a whole bunch of different podcasting platforms. So, we on here. And thank you, everybody, for coming out, and we'll definitely check you out next week. So we'll see you later, gents.
Thanks. Like and subscribe.